Hello everyone. This video is going to focus on developing a conclusion paragraph. Surprisingly, the conclusion paragraph is the most powerful paragraph in the essay. First, before getting started with writing or considering what to write for your conclusion paragraph, try to let the answers to these questions help formulate your conclusion paragraph. First, why should your reader care about what you wrote? In other words, think about the so what factor. If by the end of the essay your reader cannot understand or know why you wrote about what you wrote, nor why they should care about it, then the conclusion paragraph needs to be a bit stronger. Also, what is the most important point for your reader to take away after reading your essay? You could have an essay that focuses on many different points, claims, arguments, things of that nature. And depending on what the main focus is or thesis, you want to try to develop a conclusion that sort of brings that together or brings it to light before they walk away from your essay. Next, is there any action you want your reader to take? You can develop a conclusion that provides a call to action, as we like to say. When they walk away from your paper, what do you want them to do with the information that you provided as far as real-world connections or actions? Finally, are there any thoughts you want to highlight specifically? Again, this could be related to you. Maybe it's your own specific purpose or reasons that you want to highlight, and for maybe reasons that might help the reader understand the conversation a bit better, or perhaps maybe it's just thought-provoking for the reader. And again, you could also make it action-oriented, as indicated in the question before. So let's go ahead and look at a few of the strategies. So, strategy number 2 after answering the questions is to synthesize, not summarize. Many times students develop conclusion paragraphs that simply provide a summary of what they just wrote. Remember that the goal for the reader is for the reader to summarize what they just read in their own mind, not for you to do it for them. So avoid simply restating what you've already said. You're just repeating information. What you'll want to do instead is find the best way to synthesize everything you said in your essay in a way that helps your reader understand the point of the essay and the ideas presented in the essay as well. Meaning that how can you collectively put the ideas together at the same time while putting the ideas together? What is the main point or the takeaway that you want them to conclude? Now, in some aspects, this could be conclusions that you draw about these ideas. That's entirely up to you. Or you can keep it open enough where you allow the reader to draw those conclusions based off the synthesis that you provided. Either way, you'll want to consider the main point. Again, so what? Why does this matter? The next strategy, strategy 3, is asking you to make connections. So your conclusion paragraph can actually allow readers to make a connection to your ideas, to maybe the real world or their own personal lives. Or it could be connections to any other field or concept or idea that you feel there's a strong enough connection to make. As long as it's logical and it makes sense and relevant and reasonable, then any type of connection you make in the conclusion to your ideas presented in the essay will work. Ideally, though, more often than not, when you allow the reader to make connections with their own lives or the real world, you find yourself making a strong conclusion paragraph. Next, strategy number 4. Strategy number 4 can ask you to come full circle. So what that means is if you review the intro paragraph video, you'll find that one of the ways to develop an intro paragraph is to do what's called mirroring or echoing. So you might use one of the introductory paragraph strategies as you see below, maybe an opening scene, a quote, an anecdote. Those are often strategies used in intros, and then you can revisit that same startling statistic, quote, or anecdote in the end, but this time you are now making connections to all the ideas that you've presented and how it relates to that. So that's one strategy, also known as bookends, echoing, mirroring. So anytime you want to actually echo the intro and maybe re-emphasize something you wrote in the beginning, this is also a good way to do that. Finally, some final tips to help you develop your conclusion paragraph. Remember that the conclusion paragraph should always help your reader know the so what, why does this matter about the topic or subject presented in your essay. If they don't, then there's a good chance that the information you've provided in your essay is a little bit vague, or perhaps maybe you're not really sure why what you're writing matters. And if that's the case, then you'll need to rethink what you've written. In the conclusion, though, you'll want to be sure that you're emphasizing key points in a sense that your reader gets a sense of purpose. Why did you, the author, feel it was necessary, or what was the purpose that you felt was necessary in order to write this essay? And that should be clear as well. The reader should also know what is being added to the conversation about your topic by you. In other words, it should be made clear in the conclusion paragraphs how you've added to the ongoing conversation that is your topic or subject. So whether that's reiterating some information, making your point highlighted, the call to action, whatever the call to action is, should be the new sort of layer or added knowledge that you're providing in the conversation. Next, your reader should get a sense of concluding ideas and final thoughts. Basically, what that says is there's no need to write the phrase "in conclusion" in your conclusion. We should know about how the conclusion is developed, that it is serving, in fact, as your conclusion paragraph. Ultimately, when it comes to writing conclusions, there really is no one right way to do it. It really comes down to what you've written throughout your entire essay, and at the same time, knowing who your audience is and what will be the most effective approach possible.